You know how I do.
Let's get cracking!
Welcome back, everybody, to our second match of the night. It is going to be Union Gaming up against NoT today, formerly known as Revenge. It is an all-Peruvian matchup. And, well, we're going to jump right into the draft because I have something special for us this game. I'm going to be welcoming, and not only is my co-caster from last match going to be joining me, Pandago, but as well as legendary player Mojo Stormstout, MSS. What's going on, guys?
What's up, dude?
So,
Jesus Christ, he's already a legend.
He's already a legend.
Slow down, everyone. He's not a legend yet.
Come on now.
Listen, MSS, you'll always be a legend in my heart, buddy.
Thank you, thank you. I'm a big fan of your work.
Thanks, me. I'm a big fan of your work as well, man. But we unfortunately we're gonna be doing a quadcast, but Bulba ditched us. He was going to be joining us. Unfortunately, he had to go to dinner. So maybe another time. But Pandago, MSS, we got both of you guys here. Both of you, I'm sure, have played Revenge plenty of times. And Union Gaming, I'm sure, quite a number of times as well. Especially going into TI4, etc. Do you actually favor either one of these teams? Because right now, Dota 2 Lounge is completely even, pretty much.
Are you kidding me? Dude, I favor NoT today.
Is that the smash factor?
It's the smash Sama factor.
The smash Sama factor. Pandago, are you right there with MSS?
I think if he gets one of his heroes, if he's playing Viper though, it's like that's the type of hero you can't really make huge plays on. I mean, you sort of can, but for the most part, it's like you run at them and you just spit acid at them. So I think if he gets a hero, they can do a lot of. But yeah, generally whenever I play against Revenge, I mean, did we scrim them? We scrimmed them a little bit. We've just done a few scrims with our team because when we have time and everyone's on, we've done a few scrims. But I think we played them, and our strat was basically like just ban smash heroes, and we'll probably win this game. And
oh yeah, then that was like the easiest game of our life.
Is it really like Revenge, or like the rest of the team just isn't as skilled as Smash, or is he just such an all-star that you just have to keep his heroes out of his hands?
Remaining.
I mean, in my opinion, I think like Smash is like 10 times better than the rest of his team. That's just me though. I ain't flaming.
Well, you sort of just did, but you know, whatever. I think that they're all okay, but yeah, Smash is definitely like a tier above them. And Ewo is like hit and miss. I think sometimes he plays really well, but then there's some games where he just like throws uncontrollably. So I'd say that about pretty much everyone on their team. But Smash is really consistent and he's good. So he's just like. There's very, very few games where I'm like, wow, Smash just straight up lost them like that game. But I can say that about pretty much anyone else on their team. So that's probably the main reason why. He's just consistent and good.
Now, Union Gaming, we don't see them as much. When it comes to South American teams, by far, Revenge has always been the standouts. But Union Gaming have been showing a lot of improvement lately and have actually taken down some notable names in themselves, as well as taking down Revenge a number of times, as these two teams have gone back and forth over and over again. MSS, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on Union Gaming? Do you have any specific players you should be looking out for when scrimming against them, or are they just a solid squad in general?
Usually seems like a good team, you know. That Benjas guy, you know, he's a pretty good player. He lost me a couple matchmaking games though, so I'm a pretty biased.
Yeah.
He's trying really hard to not say that he does not think that they're that great, but I'll just say
it's okay.
This is why I have Pandago here.
It's okay.
To tell the truth, to speak the truth. I don't know. They're also, I'd say, they're kind of like the team you don't really know about. I mean, actually, we were just talking to Nibble right before he left, and he's like, I hate playing against Russian teams because they're so aggressive, and like when people play like that, if you get off on the wrong foot, like if you start the game bad, like it doesn't matter if you, like even if your players are more individually skilled, if they just get way ahead early, like you can't do anything. And I had said like, well, Peruvians are basically like the Russians of North America or Americas.
They really are.
If they like to play really aggressively and they like to get ahead early, and if they do that, like it's really hard. Even if you think you're more individually skilled, or even if your team like overall is more individually skilled, that you can't really come back sometimes. Like it's just too hard. So watching them play against each other usually makes for exciting games because they're just like going back and forth, destroying each other early game. I mean, if you look at this lineup, don't even have to like look at any specific heroes. It's just overall, these heroes are really aggressive early game heroes, but they can also transition. So usually the key for the Peruvian teams is like they want to try and pick lineups that are really aggressive early that also transition in the late game. But they're generally weaker into the late game. Like none of these heroes except for maybe Furion would really be called like a dominant force if it goes past like 30 minutes.
So, talking about these lineups, we have a Viper, Tidehunter, Vengeful Spirit, and Dragonite being picked up by NoT today, while Brewmaster, Nature's Prophet, Rubik, and Enchantress for Union Gaming. But MSS, do you actually have any favorites when it comes down to, we already have 4 of the pickups. Are you siding with one draft or another? If you were on one of these teams, which team would you want to be on? Draft-wise.
Draft-wise?
Yeah, draft-wise. Don't just say not today because of Smash Sama.
Oh, come on, dude. I would be I would like to be on that today because of Smash, but no, I would rather play UGs, I think, because they have there's something about that Furion Panda combo I really like. It's like when I was on Mouse at TI, we would try to get that first 2 opening, like as much as possible. That's after like our super losing streak of like when we went 1-7, and it's just a really good combination of team fight, split push, late game, and just have solid lanes. And they also kind of like secured the early game with the Enchantress Rubik dual lane. But I don't know. I think not today's draft was really good too, because there's just gonna be a lot of fighting. I can see that already. With Tidehunter and Viper.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got we've got a nice little combination here. The Tidehunter, Vengeful Spirit, also both being able to apply a lot of minus armor, and then the 2 cores being super 3 cores actually, all being very, very super tanky. Viper with an early mech can make a Dragonite kind of unstoppable in these early team fights. In fact, I'm even looking at this and going, Union Gaming, can they even fight early? I mean, they've got this amazing Brewmaster who is one of the strongest mid-game oriented heroes in the game right now with that amazing ultimate, but even then, like, you've got so much tank. Do they even have enough damage to be able to win some of these fights if a Viper has a decent timed mech and the Dragonite isn't shut down in lane? And now a Chen on top of it, a Chen heal on top of all this?
Yeah. I actually like not today's lineup more. I mean, Union Gaming, Brewmaster's pretty good against like Viper and Tidehunter in the team fight, but I just feel like you just said, they really don't have that much damage. And there's gonna be like phase of the game where all the heroes on NoT today will still be kind of low on HP. Like Dragonite's gonna be like level 8 or 9. He'll only have like 1,000 HP and maybe a little more than that. Viper, I mean, those heroes will be like killable, but once they get like a few more items, get like 13 and 14, Union Gaming won't have damage on them anymore, and there will be like a 15-minute window from when that happens where they just like can't really kill any of NoT today's heroes. Weaver, on the other hand, will give them damage if he can get really farms. So this game, they really need their Weaver to get a lot of farm from the towers early and get a Deso, and basically the Deso will be the source of their damage. I really don't think you should go straight Deso, obviously, but I think a Medallion would be really good for Enchantress early, and then they try and take an early Roche. And Union Gaming basically just needs to abuse the fact that I think they have a slightly stronger early mid-game lineup, but like once it gets into the later stages of the game, like mid-late game, they're going to be in trouble if they haven't done a lot of work.
Right. Once we get our basic Blink Dagger up on the Tidehunter, BKB for Dragonite, and a mech up on the Viper, it seems like this lineup is going to be generally pretty much unstoppable. And even if like one single hero is in some trouble, we even have the Chen heal as well as the Vengeful Spirit swap to be able to get them out of position here, because we do have a lot of single target here for Union Gaming with the Enchantress. Petty shots are going to be coming in. Weaver is all single target damage, and then you add in maybe the Furion's damage. This build though for the Furion, we've seen a lot of other builds for the Furion, most notably the Null Talisman Blade Mail builds.
Oh yeah, that's my jam, dude.
That's your jam. I was just about to ask MSS. You're a Furion player, man. What do you think? Is that build actually viable in competitive play though?
Well, it could be, I think. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly, I haven't, like, I never heard of that, like, or seen that build until my brother did it in a pub game. I was like, why the hell are you building that? I was so confused. But then it was just working out. He had like 4 no talismans, a blade mail. He was just fighting people and they couldn't hit him back. I was like, holy shit, why is that working? But I think it only works against certain lineups. Like, when there's a Tinker on the other team, I think it's a really good build. But against that team, I don't think I would go it. I'll probably just go standard like Midas into whatever, or you can go to Treads, Maelstrom, Blink build.
So
I would
banking
probably-
more on,
Yeah,
banking
that's
more
the
on
build
the
this
late game
game.
and split push.
Yeah, because they need to have the like threat of split push this game in order to force them off of towers. Because NOT really doesn't have that strong a push. Like it can kill towers, but it's more of like the old school. Like we have a giant team fight, we're gonna poke your tower to death. Well, we have like a huge team fight sit behind it. So NOT, or this is actually just like more of an old school matchup. Like these two teams, Union Gaming has a lot of split push with Weaver and Furion, and the ability to like pressure the lanes that are not in, and keep them from just barreling down a lane and taking both the towers. So I think if Union Gaming can recognize that and really like abuse the split push power, like that's what they need to do after the early game. So they have a really strong early game. They need to be aggressive during that and try and get kills while they can. But once they can't fight anymore, they need to recognize that and just start split pushing. So we'll see if they do that. But I think I really, if Angel goes that Blade Mail build, they're going to be in big trouble, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that good against the stuns. Like, if a team has a lot of stuns and you get stunned up before you cast your Blade Mail, okay, your item's worthless now, goodbye. Like, you're just going to blow up anyways and you won't do any return damage. And then on top of that, like, there's a Chen
30
and,
seconds
like,
to
a
go.
guaranteed mech on NOT. Someone's going to get a mech.
Right.
So, they have the heals to go through the Blade Mail. I think it's really good if they don't have a lot of stuns, and then also if there's not a lot of healing on the enemy team. Because typically, like, at least the way I've seen it played is you just cast your ultimate, TPN, and cast Blade Mail as a Furion, and you just bait them onto you and force them to cook on you, or you just do free damage. But if they can just cook on you and then heal through it for free with the mech or an urn or something, then it's really not getting that much done.
Right, and you were saying that we're going to be seeing a mech out of somebody here from Not Today. It's very possible that we're going to be seeing Chen being the one pick up the mech here. Do you think that we should be seeing the, like, a little bit later mech, but it'll mean the Viper can go for, like, that straight Aghanims build that gives you so much mid-game damage?
In my opinion, I think the Viper should be the one getting the mech, because he needs the armor, and he can get it much faster, and he can just death ball earlier. One thing that kind of confuses me is that neither Chen or Viper have a ring of protection, so I don't know what they're gonna do about this Basti, because they kind of need that to push early
Right.
if they want to pressure towers.
Which just leads us into what Pandega was talking about, where Union Gaming have the opportunity to really be able to put early pressure, but as well as possibly take some early towers, and that's how they might be able to survive through the mid-game, is that being able to get that early tower lead and some early rotations with Jericho's Enchantress. But what is the game plan here for them? Like, do they gank up this mid lane with a Dragonite? I mean, he's very tanky. Do they just try and push down the offlane tower as soon as possible, at the risk of feeding Mihawk a lot of experience on this offlane tide?
Yeah, actually, Enchant and Rubik are going to have a pretty hard time this game, like ganking either of those lanes. But I think that Dragonite's actually the easier kill with Panda once he gets like level 4 or 5. If they can get a good, like, just lift combo on him, and they need like a good enchant combo, and they can kill him pretty easily. But Tide Hunter is going to have the time of his life, I think, against this lane. Like, he actually has a pretty weird skill build, though.
Yes, Gush, so early.
Yeah, he picked up the Gush at level 1, like, when he grabbed the Illusion Rune. Which
Oh, he
was
got it at
just-
level 1?
Yeah, he got it at level 1 when he, like,
What the-
he was going for the rune, and he threw the Gush onto the support, which I think you're totally right. If we have a normal skill build, which should be a 0-2-4 build for a Tidehunter, this is, like, all physical damage coming out from this tri-lane, and it's no nuking damage pretty much at all. So far, taking a look at the CS, we have our Weaver leading the board right next to the Brewmaster. But so far, both the offlaners are doing a pretty good job. We already see Angel has been doing a great job pulling the creep wave back. And it looks like we actually have a walking courier coming all the way to bottom lane because Ewo has taken so much harassment so far that he actually needs tangos in lane, which seems very odd. Oh, poor Tidehunter. He's done for. Hellbear Smasher in the back. He's going to try and outrun it, but he's still going to be caught.
Why did he run that way? Why did he just run to the tower? I think he would have lived, like, perfectly.
Well, he's going to try and juke around a little bit. He doesn't get the kill from the neutrals, and Jericho will actually pick up the first blood. You think he was golden? Even being, he, like, did juke the Hellbear Smasher.
He got anchor smashed on 2 of the heroes. He would definitely have lived if he just went to the tower.
He would 100%. Like, I think he panicked, but that was all physical damage after the Hellbird clap and like the level 1 Rubik nuke. He didn't even use nuke, but I mean, assuming he did, it's not going to do anything. He just walks away.
Particularly the Weaver, who like a lot of your damage is coming in from that Geminate attack. Well, it doesn't really matter when you have that anchor smash. You're still hitting like a kitten.
Yeah, that was moderately questionable play.
This Tidehunter is getting like so much though. I mean, that's the out gank.
Yeah, classic. Yeah.
Actually, wait, no, they did kill him. So
yeah,
that's the classic die into get a wave of experience on the offlane.
Now he actually went for the boots first build. MSS, what is your usual build for Tidehunters? Because we've seen several different ones, but it seems like the most popular one is the boots first right now, and just trying to go for that early like 0-4-4, and actually trying to use the Kraken shell as early as possible to be able to make you just tanky as all hell in the lane and to really push that advantage that you have.
Yeah, I agree on the boots first now. Like, I used to go to South Shield, but I think boots first is always better now. And you just go, you just brush the level 2 Kraken shell, a level 3, and it's like you have a Stout Shield.
Xander, can you explain a little bit of the thought process behind the Stout Shield first, even though you were still going for Anchor Smash?
Dire's structures are fortified.
Back when you were going for the Stout Shield.
I mean, I guess like it's just like so you can tank like at the level 1 and level 2s, because like without the Stout Shield you're actually really easy to kill. But it is kind of a waste of money because like once you get the level 2 Kraken shell, you're gonna sell that Stout Shield anyway.
Right.
So boot first is probably a must, like all the time now. Mid is gonna die, I think.
Yeah, Citadel's done for. He doesn't have his level 6, unfortunately. He was getting close to it, but with a 4-man rotation like that, Mihawk joining up with Masoku, the Chen rotating around behind that Brewmaster, he just didn't stand a chance. And that means, well, they're going to be able to push down this middle tier 1 tower fairly early on. They may not be able to take it. It's going to depend on whether or not Union Gaming want to try and rotate, or if they just try and do some pushing of their own in this top.
Middle tower is under attack.
This Cypher's going Midas, so I don't know if he's still going mech or not.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that item on the hero.
Radiant's top tower
I'm sure they're just getting the mech on the Chen, but
yeah,
I don't know about the Midas on Viper either.
I guess
really
it's
early
like,
Midas, so
yeah, it is. And I guess it like kind of provides a backup late game. If things go wrong.
Viper is a very, very strong late game hero if he gets like insane amounts of farm, but obviously you generally don't get very much farm in the heroes because his farming capability is below. So with the Midas, he's able to keep up with other people, and if he can get like fully maxed out, that hero is pretty huge pain to deal with, especially for UG's heroes. Like the only hero that's really strong against it, I guess, would be Weaver, but he still has, he can't hit the Viper without getting hit back, so.
So he's still going to be having a lot of issues. Fortunately, Union Gaming did make a rotation from both the Rubik and the Furin. That was enough to deter the mid push, and at the same time did manage to claim that top tier 1 tower with both the Weaver and the Enchantress joining forces. They already have that lead. They also have a similar Midas pickup here on the 1 position of Union Gaming as well. Benj is going to be holding on to an early Midas. Shouldn't really be too big of a surprise, I would say, as he's really got to make sure he stays ahead in levels and gold in this game. As you guys kind of pointed out in the draft, he's going to be, really, this game is all about him, right? There's very little damage coming out from everyone else on the side of Union Gaming. Most of it's going to be heavily mitigated by the mass heals and just generally tanky nature of NoT today.
Yep. appears that the Peruvian metagame has shifted. Like, they're all actually. This is what they do though. They're aggressive early and take the early towers, and then they buy minuses off of it, which is like, I guess the meta that was.
That's like the meta
8
right
months
now.
ago. Well, kind of, but Midas isn't super common in all these
yeah, I
heroes.
guess.
Like on the safe lane farmer, you generally try and get like blinks and stuff or more aggressive items and fight off of that, and then you use the towers and Roshan to be aggressive. But I mean, it sort of secures the late game for these teams, so it's just a safer way to play.
Smoke rotation from Union Gaming. Both Jericho and Xander are going to be
Tide is
wrapping
about to hit
behind.
6 though, so this could turn really badly for them if they go
Yeah.
in right when he hits 6 and they get TPs.
Oh god, he's going to get it
DK
right off of
doesn't
his
have a
creep.
TP though.
He's already got the
He's
anchor
gonna
smash on
die.
the benches. And he's going to be going into the side of the trees. Unfortunately for him, the Swarm did catch him out. They still see him in that side area. So he just holds on to the Ravage for now. No rotations from his allies. And they are actually going to be going for a tier 2 here with Angel sticking around. He just now gets enough for the Treants. And, well, on the side of Not Today,
Radiant's top
they're actually going to be
tower is
pushing
under
mid in
attack.
response.
Yeah, they really need to like start pressuring these tier 1 towers, bottom and middle. But they're gonna lose a tier 2 top. And instead of it, I guess it's kind of worth it.
Just because
Yeah,
the middle tier 1 is such a,
Yeah.
a crucial tower to take.
Radiant's
Yeah.
top tower has
Also,
fallen.
they probably couldn't stop top anyway, so it's better to get something out of it instead of just panicking.
Right.
But they really should hit this bottom tower soon. They have Ravage, and this is just like 5-man.
You don't think Mihawk should try and sit in this lane and just farm up his Blink Dagger? I mean, he's halfway there. Or he could get an Arcane Boots and join the rest of the team.
I mean, they don't necessarily need the Tide there. They can just hit the tower. Well, they should wait for a Dragon form first. They can just hit the tower as 4. And they have that tier 1 bottom, so he can just TP if needed. And I doubt they'll like all die before the Tide can reach there. They don't have that much damage on UG's side, outside of like Furion out and Panda split, I guess.
Panda did just pick up his blink though, so
No.
he could put a lot of pressure on them and jump them with that. And if they did that and weren't aware, it'd end pretty badly. It looks like they're actually gonna, or UG's gonna pressure the bot lane now.
Yeah,
They're gonna probably try and blow up this Viper and then take the tower.
Citadel's looking for that opening right now with his first Blink Dagger rotation. We do have both the supports sitting on the side here, ready to go, but, well, Arcane Boots is going to be the choice. Ewo's going to be gone on, gets off the clap, now the ultimate comes in.
He can be sent home.
We do
Yeah.
have some rotations to send back. It might
gonna
be a
make it?
time. Ewo, telekinesis
God.
back, he gets
Holy
away!
shit. Yeah, that was
Just
nice.
in time. And now the Brewmaster will try and trace away some of the other supports, but really they're pretty much the damage is done. They would love to be able to have that Viper kill, but they forced him to go back, and they'll probably be able to take this tier 1 tower in the bottom
No
lane.
sir.
No, they can,
Not if Tide shows up. He's coming.
yeah.
And they don't
I
have.
mean, the
a
Weaver
true-
can TP back to the, yeah, they should be able to defend this tower.
And the tower doesn't go down in time. Ewo's already back. Mihawk's going to come in, gets the 2-man Ravage, follow up with a 2-man Anchor Smash. Telekinesis puts a stop to that one for a second. But both Angel as well as Xander will be falling. And now they're going to be able to try and get
And
even more.
yeah,
But
now they're just gonna get the towers bottom, but they don't have split and they can't defend it.
Dire's bottom tower
And
is
Smash
under
isn't wasting any time for this whatsoever. He wants to even up this tower lead as soon as possible. In
Dire's
fact, he even
structures
uses his
are
illusions and
fortified.
just goes straight for the
Radiant's
early
middle
backdooring
tower
on this
is
tier
under
1.
attack. Dire's
Oh, that
bottom
Viper just got
tower
his
is
mech too,
under
right?
attack.
They can probably just go for tier 2.
Jericho was doing the right thing though during that time while his team was like dying and just pushing mid. Like he recognized that they were all committed to bottom and the fight was going sour. So he started pressuring it early, so it allowed them to trade the tier 1 for tier 1. But I think they might end up just trading the tier 2 for tier 2 again. Actually, do they
They
have
should
fort?
definitely not give that
They have
Middle
fort,
tower
yeah. So they're gonna be able to defend mid as well if they use the
Dire's
fort and
bottom
people start
tower is
TPing.
under attack.
Yeah, this is going to be huge for Mihawk, who's sitting now at 1,600 gold and is going to be so close to his Blink Dagger. The middle tier 2 already getting fortified, as you guys predicted, and the mass rotations coming in.
Radiant's
Mihawk,
middle
though,
tower
I mean,
is
without a
under
Ravage,
attack.
they may try and commit to the last couple of hits, and they will be able to get it. Unfortunately, Citadel, who doesn't have his ultimate, is going to be in some serious trouble and should be going down here. Jericho with the heal is going to try and help save him, but the Anchor Smash will finish off the Brewmaster, and now the rest of Union Gaming will back themselves up. Worth it for the tier 2, though?
I think so.
Yeah, Union Gaming should be. I actually.
They
am
shouldn't have lost
surprised
that.
Tide TP'd. Yeah, someone
Yeah.
needed TP on the tower.
The thing is that the DK didn't have a TP for some reason. He should have been there early and just like spamming fire breath on the creep wave and the treants.
So shout out to Nahaz, who's going to be kind of our fourth man for this cast. He's actually been sending me some stats as we've been going on. Viper apparently has gone Midas only 9 times before in 6.81, and he is currently 1-8. 1 win, 8 losses.
We're gonna raise that, boys. This is the game.
Is it? Is it though? Is it? We'll see. I mean, Uni Gaming.
I think NoT is in a favorable position now because they're getting close to that point I was talking about before, where it's like Uni Gaming won't be able to fight them anymore. Chen went 4-staff, which was actually what I was gonna say his item should be, and Viper should go the mech, because now it's like as long as the person that Uni Gaming jumps is facing backwards, they're not gonna die, and they don't really have anything except for lift to force them to face forwards. So I don't really see Union Gaming ever killing like anyone in the NoT 5-man death hole unless they fully commit to it, and that's just a really, really risky play because if Ravage is up and the Ty gets good Ravage, they're gonna get obliterated.
Well,
so
they just showed 3 top. I think if I were UG, I would just get that bottom tower and go immediately to Roche right now.
They're definitely making the right play, but oh yeah, they actually.
I think they should go Roche right now, like not this tier 2 bottom.
Dire's top tower.
Because they're not going to get, if, I mean, it allows NoT to decide, like, if they go for the tier 2, they can take this tier 1 and defend, but if they go, or if Union Gaming goes for Roche, they can't, like, get this tier 1 and stop the Roche. Which is basically, like, this is, like, the epitome of dire advantage right here. Is if they were doing Roshan right now, they actually could not stop it.
Oh, they want to defend that?
This is crazy.
Wow.
This is going to be real dangerous. We had the Rubik coming in first, instant telekinesis onto Smash, but the Invis has already been activated.
This is going to be really bad.
They see him with the counter ward. They're going to go for Benjes here, already stunning him up. Ravage goes off, and Weaver already down. God. Xander's going to be up next as he gets swapped into some serious danger. Weaver comes back with a buyback. He's going to try and make this team fight work. Brewmaster, Mass Teleport's coming out. He can't put a stop to anybody, and the Dragonite gets teleported away. That was a full extraction
that
there
was like
from
Star
NoT
Trek
today.
Beam me up Scotty moment or something. That was amazing actually. That was
crap.
perfect timing. Like as soon as the buyback happened on Weaver, like maybe a second later, instant Sentinel on DK, and everyone else just started casting their TPs, and they couldn't stop him because Union Gaming has a 1 stun. I guess they have Panda too, but he split and like panicked or something. I didn't even see what he did with his like his Cyclone and his Rock.
Yeah,
that was super questionable by UG though. That decision making to defend that tower. I don't know. They should have really went for that Roshan. It's like it's safer.
Or at the very least the tier 2.
Yeah, like at least do some damage here too. Like don't defend it while it's at 100 HP. You should never do that when you don't have glyph. You don't have like TP. That's never gonna happen.
Smash is, well, Mihawk's actually going to come and get a 3-man anchor smash, which is a good start. Smash, though, will still be taken out, as he was pretty far forward, and the rest of his team was unable to help him, really relying on that Shadow Blade. Unfortunately, the counter wards are already ready here for Union Gaming. And, I mean, do you think Shadow Blade was really the right choice here? You're talking about the mid-game strengths of NoT today and how they're just going to be so tanky with all these heals. They could just constantly 5-man down towers. Shadow Blade's a little bit more of a pick-off-oriented item here and doesn't give him nearly as much team fight viability.
I think the way this game is, where it's just like constant 5v5, I think BKB is like much better.
I
like something like the
don't mind. I really don't mind the Shadow Blade just because I feel like as long as
like versus the Fearon, I guess. Like stop the split push.
Against the Furin and the Weaver, like he is their only counter to split push, so I'm okay with it just because it gives him damage and like over the blink. I guess the blink would be their choice to stop that, but it still gives them team fight without completely sacrificing their ability to catch people.
Oh, Smash! Oh, Smash really wants it. They're actually right on top of Roshan. It's going to go down. Somebody picks it up. It's going to be the Dragonite who steals it. And now Union Gaming in some serious trouble. Got to get out of here. Benjes pops his ultimate, gets away. Cineral, if they realize, is actually trapped on the cliff, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to see him in time. His blink is up in just a second. Somehow, nobody dies there. And Roshan is killed by Union Gaming, but Smash manages to steal that ever-coveted Aegis.
Yeah, I'm sure he's really happy he has the Shadow Blade now because now he has the Aegis, so it's like he doesn't need BKB anymore.
Well, this Fearon I want to get Orchids.
Yeah, that was the next item.
The first item build, I think.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think it's gonna do much except, like, I guess for the Tide Ravage. If you can somehow like have it pre-click.
If he doesn't catch it, yeah, exactly. Yeah. He has to catch it, but if he doesn't, he's dead instantly. So, that's just super risky, and it really kills his. I mean, he can still split push, but you know, it's like Maelstrom adds so much. I don't know.
Maelstrom makes you push even faster and threaten those side lanes even more, while also giving you a faster farm rate for the late game Furion, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's see what are other people building into. Venge is super poor. Okay, he's getting a probably what's to be another 4-staff, which I think is good because it really just destroys UG's lineup. If they can just force out whoever's getting focused at the right times, like Union Gaming's not gonna be able to score kills very easily.
I mean, at least Smash has his Aegis now, right? They can just push towers and have him like just on the front line, sitting the tower with his corrosive breath, and just not care.
Well, Union Gaming are already on their way to threaten this tier 2 in the bottom lane. Not today are going to try and defend it here. They are actually going to smoke up. Mihawk wants the total element of surprise here when he blinks in and gets a 3 or 4 man Ravage. Ravage goes off, only catching 2 there. Jericho's going to be the first target. He gets off the heal on Xander. I think Union Gaming may just try and back up. Xander's going to turn this around. He wants to go for it. Clap on 2. Ravage goes off, hits 3 there. They immediately target Mystico. Now the turnaround. Chen heal's gone off. Xander, well, he's going to be left to die here as the rest of his team is going to start focusing on Evo. Benj is trying to take down that tanky Viper while the Dragonite is up in the Cyclone. Angel's going to be up next, though. He's going to be taken out as Smash is able to just get in those right clicks. The rest of Union Gaming regretting their turnaround there with that Ravage are now going to lose 3, maybe even 4 heroes. Citadel trying to get some distance for his Blink Dagger. He's not going to be able to find that.
Oh my god, that 4-staff on the troll creep?
Oh my god, that was
Base
legit.
Masoku.
Citadel, though, done for 100%. 4 heroes go down. Weaver, the only one who managed to escape from that team fight. That being said, Benj is immediately teleported to the top lane and is already trying to get that split push going because he knows not today. After a win like that, they're just going to 5-man down.
That tier 2 is so going down middle.
Yeah. That made me so sad when they turned around there. Oh, yeah. Rubik's is like, I'm going to casually walk in Ravage. I mean, against UG's heroes, you literally have to get a really good Ravage for it to mean anything, and he didn't get a good enough one. And he was also, I checked as soon as he stole it, he was at like 2,100 gold. I mean, he still almost has enough for his Blink. And if he would have just walked away and bought a Blink, they would have had a Blink Ravage for the next fight, which is like something that could win them the game if they use it correctly. So, I don't really agree with that turnaround there. They had already burnt the Ravage and baited out a single kill like on one person. They should have just been happy with burning the Ravage and getting away. Basically, I think they all could have gotten away if they just ran, like, after they got away from that first death. I don't know. They could have fought them, like team fought, a minute later with a Blink Dagger Ravage, and like NoT Gaming would have not had a Ravage because he had just used it. So that turnaround is a mega questionable call.
I also feel like you need to like relax until they get a mech onto the Chartreuse. Like fighting into that mech Viper when they don't have a mech is just like way too fucking hard.
Looks like our Enchantress is also going to be going at drums as well. He's currently delaying the drums, obviously for the.
Yeah, he went phase. He went phase bracer robe, which is so like unorthodox. Yeah. And then he was like, "Oh, we're losing team fights. I should go on mech." And now he has these assortments of items, which just look so awkward.
It really does. It makes this Enchantress so damn squishy. Fortunately, though, the damage from mid lane only came from Smash's Dragonite. Nobody else was really able to get there in time to help out. But it looks like they're still going to be going for the mid push. Their side lanes are being pushed in a little bit. They're actually beginning to get across the river, but it looks like they're going to be there in time in the middle lane to be able to force Union Gaming back.
Yeah, I think that NoT should just force the fight here. I mean, they can get with the tier 2 bot easily, and the top lane's not even close to being pushed in yet. So this is where like Union Gaming's lack of split push comes into play.
They can at least do like a ton of damage on the tower.
There's no fort. I think that they can at least force the deny.
Dragon form is gonna go down, and
that's true.
They're gonna lose.
He used it for the kill mid, right?
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
Aegis is also gonna disappear in like 20 seconds. 30, yeah.
So they already forced pretty much everyone back except for the bottom lane. Good enough, I guess. They don't want to force a fight without Dragon form. We do have a smoke up right now. NoT today are looking for a pickoff somewhere in this top lane because they know that the Weaver was pushing up top, and they're hoping maybe to be able to catch him out or somebody else in their own jungle, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to find it. Meanwhile, Weaver is going to be building into the Desolator you guys talked about earlier. Already has the Link-ins as well as now a Mythril Hammer, which does give him a lot more safety when it comes to split pushing these lanes, because now he doesn't have to fear as much from the Dragonite Shadow.
Yeah, I honestly think that UG has the better late game. They just need to stop taking these really bad fights.
Oh, Jericho just
Yeah.
walked into the wrong neighborhood, my friend. 3 heroes from
He
Not
ain't
Today.
getting that mech anytime soon.
No, he really isn't. What is our next item on the Furion, by the way? He's got 2,100 gold. Is a BKB necessary for him in these fights, or do you just continue to go for the split push?
I honestly, if I was him, I would just go full split push. And you need to pressure these other lanes when they're going for these like all-in pushes. So they need to like react with at least one hero. And I still think Blink is decent.
From the same cloth.
Well, Agadim's going to be finished up on our Viper. So 23 minutes in, 11-4 right now. Union Gaming holding about a 3,000 gold lead, and Not Today, a very small experience lead. So despite the fact that things have really gone Not Today's way in the last few minutes, Union Gaming has still been farming quite a bit better. Probably thanks to the fact they have this Furion as well as the constant split pushing Weaver, which allows them to be able to more economically farm up the map.
Yeah, they're doing a good job at keeping their lanes pushed out like their side lanes. And looks like Not Today are just gonna get this tier. We go for the racks middle.
And at this point in time, do you consider maybe giving up the racks in exchange for trying to just focus on tier 3s? Just because this could be like the end of the game right here if they try and defend this racks and lose the fight.
I think they should try to defend this at all costs.
Brewmaster Ultimate's going to go off, and they're going to try and target, but look at them. They just instantly
that
turn
Fire
onto the
Panda.
Pandas. He's already got the Viper up on the Cyclone, but the Fire Panda has already been taken out. He's going to get the Storm one away, and that means that the Fire Panda is targeted here. It's still going to be fine, as he's got this one in the background ready to go.
Top
But
is
now,
getting this killed though.
yeah, they're already taking that tier 3 tower. They're going to keep on going. Brewmaster just trying to stall for time right now. The swamp goes out. They're going to catch Jericho as well as Rubik, not only stealing the Dragon Form, but now the Magic Missile from earlier. And Not Today, they're really focusing too much on these hero kills. They're finally going to be able to get the Rubik here, but it's at the cost of their top lane of Rags completely. And now Benj is actually going to get back into place here. It's unfortunate they don't have buybacks on the other two heroes, as they may actually lose this fight. Ravage goes off, catches Benj's as well as Jericho. They're going to try and blow up Benj's, but don't quite get it. And now they're trapped in this Sprout. Smash is actually getting very low. The Desolator hits. Not quite enough. Chen's going to send him back. Jericho getting low as well. Evo's going to focus him down. And if Benjis goes down here as well, this is not only going to be a mid-set of racks, but possibly even more. Mass buybacks coming into play. 3 different heroes buying back. They're going to continue to try and fight this. Mystico getting low. He will be right-clicked out just barely. And the rest of the team is able to keep their Raxes alive. In fact, they're even going to try and pop Masoku here, but unfortunately couldn't quite get enough damage to pop him. Still, though, they got the Viper, they got the Vengeful Spirit. Those 3 mass buybacks, completely worth it for Union Gaming as they keep their mid-racks alive.
Yeah, in the end, base defended.
Not today.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Not just committed too much to that base push, and they should have just sent like someone back to slow them down and threaten them, and then have the Tide be ready to come in and just like blow up the Furion or something, because you can't like fully commit to a base trade like that against a split pushing team. Even if they got the racks there, that would have been hugely in the favor of UG, because they have the ability to split push. And yeah, I don't really know if that was the best play for Not right there. Well, I know it wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, now they have the Aegis on Weaver, and like playing against the Furion when you're 1 racks down is just like the game gets so much fucking harder.
Right.
It's like it just gets like twice as hard, because you're dealing with like megas on one side, and you got a Furion on the other side, and your lanes are always gonna be pushed out, like no matter what.
It's about to get even worse. They know Mihawk doesn't have a Ravage. Fortunately, he was able to blink himself very quickly, and now Mystico actually force-staffed himself up the cliff. Ewo's going to turn around and try and go for the Rubik. He does steal the Viper Strike before he dies and gets it off. Smash, meanwhile, in the middle of everyone, is trying to focus down this Fire Panda. Will be able to get it. Jericho also on his way out. Masoku, no way for him to go, as the Brewmaster Ultimate will be able to take him down. Benj is in some serious trouble. He does still have that Aegis. Gets off the Ultimate, though, and I think that's going to be a disaster, as Benj is free to just right-click down everybody. Smash no longer with the affection of the BKB, the Orchid. He's going to be Orchided up and taken down. Angel is going to be forced back. Smash, fortunately, with his Shadow Blade, was able to get himself away, and the rest of Union Gaming will break from the rest of the team fight, and continue to focus on split pushing. It seemed like a good idea for them to try and force the fight and get a sneaky little pick off there, or even a good initiation on team fight with the Ravage down. But it looks like they may have just thrown away their advantages. Not today. Are actually going to still try and 3-man down middle lane. They have the Ravage, but this Dragon form is going down real soon.
They're gonna get this Rex. They can't stop this. They don't have a Furion like pressuring other lanes. They don't have split. They still do have Aegis Weaver though. They could attempt to fight if they want to.
And Xander, well, there goes off the Ravage. 2 supports are going to be caught in that one. Rubik already taken down. They're going to start focusing on Jericho, but Vengeance is putting in some decent work, but we can see the natural tankiness coming into play. He's going to try and target Mihawk, by far the squishiest of them all, but he's still being right-clicked down by both Ewo and Smash. Brewmaster comes in, gets one big critical, and Ewo's going to try and teleport himself away. Smash, though, is going to be as lucky as a secondary counter ward will reveal his position. They don't get the range racks in the end, but at the very least, off of that team fight, they got melee racks. They even up the lane push advantage a little bit more in their favor.
That was actually a really good defense. They didn't lose the range racks. Then they got kill on Smash, and he's like, he kind of lost his farming advantage he had before. He's not as farmed as Weaver here.
That's the thing about going the Shadowblade build, is if you're not using it to actually like, pick people off, it really did nothing for them this game. He wasn't getting the pickoffs or stopping the split push. Obviously, they lost their racks, and he was like, they just dropped sentry wards, and okay, now I see you running away. So it's not really that item choice didn't pan out from this game, I think. And also, they did burn Ravage in that fight, so Union Gaming came out in a very nice position because they burned the Ravage, and now it looks like, well, I thought they were going to keep pushing the base even, but maybe not. They're just going to kind of split push the lanes in.
I think they should 4-man lane right now. They still have the Aegis, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They do.
How long does it? Yeah, it lasts for like 2 more minutes. I think they can easily take a tower. They don't have Ravage on not today's side.
I mean, considering the fact that you feel so strongly about the late game advantage, you don't think it's a little bit smarter play for them to sit back and just push for the late game? Do you think it's maybe a little bit too risky for them to try and 4-man in, or is just the Aegis just the be-all, end-all of...
I mean, yeah, like, honestly, like, if they wanted to, they can just sit back and farm. They'll win the late game, definitely, with a Furion and a Weaver and a Panda against that team. They can do that, but, like, when you're on like a team, you should like know like when to use your advantage. Like an Aegis is something you shouldn't be like wasting when you know you can like use it to take objectives.
Right.
And like if they go down bottom, like what do? Well, they didn't have Ravage, and they knew that. Like they could have just
now
hit
Tide
down.
has Refresher Ravage,
Yeah.
so if they lose a massive team fight in like the wrongest place on the map, the game could actually just end.
So in that case, should they actually still try and force a fight onto the enemy side of the base, just because of the fact that if they lose a fight on the Union Gaming side of the base, if they lose a fight somewhere in the dire base or right in front of it, Not Today might be able to just end the game right there. Is it better to try and force the fight on Not Today's side and maybe catch them out? At the very least, if you lose the fight, they're probably going to lose a couple of heroes, and maybe Dragon Form is popped. They might not be able to get to the base in time. They have to focus on pushing in the other lanes, or etc. Is that their better idea, or just completely stay away from them, focus on split pushing, and just stay out of their way?
I think they just want to stay out of their way.
Yeah.
Like, they sort of committed to that now that they decided to just farm and not use the Aegis and push. So they just want to try and stay split up and push all the lanes in, because their heroes are way faster at split pushing than NoT Gaming's lineup. And just keep the lanes as much as they can on their side of the map. Because like I said, the only hero that can really gank for NoT is the Dragon Knight. I mean, they do have a level 11 Venge now, and they could burn Ravage if they wanted to for kills, which they might need to, but overall, like, they can push these lanes in aggressively and not be in too much danger. So I think they should just keep pressuring their lanes and farm and go for the late game. Actually, Ewo almost went down top. He was at like 20%.
Yeah, that was weird. Like, he was pinging that Viper a lot. I think he was like telling the Fury on the TP, which he should have. That would have been a free kill on Viper if he TP'd.
Yeah, Angel, by the way, did go for the Blink Dagger, as well as now just finishing up a BKB. Scythe of Ice, probably going to be his next item choice.
Yeah, so it's never a bad item on that hero.
He might just go straight damage.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Though. It really doesn't matter which one he does. He just needs to get items. The item choices for them aren't as important in this game as just getting the items.
Right. And BKB.
It just is down. Yeah, but he just got BKB. And this is actually like really problematic for NoT. Because the only thing that was like keeping him in this game was just that stun lock on the Weaver. Preventing him to do like his massive amounts of damage on their team. But now that he has a BKB, he's just gonna like not care. Just like kill. Like his damage output right now is actually insane.
That's why it looks like NoT today are going to be going for a Smoke Ink themselves. Smash almost has an Assault Cuirass that's going to be coming on the way. So if they win this fight, especially with Ravage or even just a simple pickoff, well, that was not what you wanted to see. Smash just right-clicked an illusion.
Oh my god. Wow, that was
Where's your Smash Sama now, MSS?
Dude. Whatever, man.
Well, on the bright side, they didn't actually break their full smoke for it. I'm surprised they didn't like have the other people continue running through. If you're gonna have one person check to see if it's an illusion, well, I mean, first of all, it's a smoke, so I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Like, he should have known that. Like, I'm assuming he's like, I'm gonna right-click this to check to see if it's real, and yeah, you have a smoke.
Well, you know, considering it's Smash Sama, maybe he was trying to do some mind game. You know, he has a Lotars. You know, he has a Lotars. He hits that. He's like, and the interference. Oh, okay, he just broke his Lotars. There's no one around him, and boom, he gets swapped into 4 heroes. You know, I think that's what he was thinking.
We'll go with that.
That sounds... You're a Smash apologist, MSS. That's what
Really
you
am.
are. Really are, dude. They're going to be going for possibly... No, they're just stopping the push in the top lane. Looks like NoT today are just trying to find openings, but Union Gaming just are not giving them any opportunities. We are going to be seeing a couple different item pickups here. Well, first of all, the Assault Cuirass for Smash. We also have Evo.
Yes.
Mystico, he may be done for here. The Centaur is going to be able to hit the stun, the send back of the Chen. Wow. He gets the Vengeful Spirit away, but at the same time, they still manage to kill Benj's Weaver. And he does have a buyback, but NoT today are instantly going to take advantage of that. They're already in a good position this middle lane. Looks like they're just going to push down mid, take this range racks, and try and force some buybacks. If the buybacks don't come out, they could easily just go to bottom lane as the tier 2 is already gone.
Usually are doing the right thing right now. Like the instant that happened, they just started pushing out the other 2 lanes, but they really need to defend. Like that mid racks is gone, but they need to defend the other ones.
That's why Smash immediately starts going for the tier 3 tower. Furion's going to teleport in farther down, apparently on the left side. We do have the Brewmaster's already initiated, gets off his ultimate. Now Mihawk pops Ravage #1, holding on to the second one there. He doesn't have enough mana. Benj's though. Oh, those right clicks are just tearing him a new one for the double damage on Smash. He's now going to try and focus him down, but he gets near. He immediately has Shubuchi, but he gets caught by the second Ravage now. And Union Gaming in one fell swoop, I think they might have just lost the game. Smash is going to be able to take down this tier 3 at the bottom lane. There's no buyback for the Weaver. There's no buyback for the supports. Not today. Somehow the Furion and the Brewmaster not having an ultimate, have to try and force out the rest of NoT today. I suppose they can't actually go for a full Raxing just because that tier 2 in the top lane is still up.
Yeah, they should at least get the mid range racks though.
But from here, it's just a simple 5-manning top, right?
Yeah. I mean, they should just wait until the Ravages are up.
Right.
Like, he completely whiffed that first Ravage, but it doesn't matter because he just waited until the BKBs were down. Then they just instantly won that fight. That Weaver, like, did DK have a DD that fight?
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay, yeah, that explains it because that Weaver, like, he lost that man fight so badly.
That was one of those like game-winning runes right there.
The fight though, like against an AC DK in that situation, he would still lose. It just wouldn't have been like as disgustingly bad.
I mean, the Viper was also hitting him too, so.
What do you go as
that's
a Viper
problem.
after you, like, he's going to be going for Butterfly. It just seems like we don't normally see Vipers pick up anything past Aghanims typically.
I mean, that's pretty standard. Heart, BKV. Well, some people like to do, especially Chinese teams, like to do Mills or Mjolnir, like Manta, and use it as Swift Push, so you actually, like, gain Swift Push powers as a Viper, because between the corrosive skin on your, like, illusions and the natural tanginess of the hero and putting the Mjolnir buff on them, it's actually, like, really strong at pushing out lanes. I mean, it just sort of depends on the situation, so you can build them in a lot of different ways, really.
Oh, there's gonna be a Roshan fight.
Yeah, Union Gaming are trying to exploit the fact that all of Not Today we're just gonna like 5-man down top, but Not Today realizes they're gonna smoke in. They're actually gonna be able to catch out Smash here, and this is a really good start to their team fight. Already Smash is gone, and his Dragon Form was used there. Not Today are actually gonna be in a terrible position. Ewo's gonna be taken down here as he's just being chased away. The Talisman Invasion is doing him some work. Potentially the Chen teleport back. Oh my god, Masoku catches him out. He even tries to teleport away after a Force Staff. But Union Gaming, holy crap, they just won themselves a really great team fight. Going to be able to go for Roshan, get Aegis and Cheese, and are actually forced the advantage onto Not Today rather than what should have been just the other way around. All due to that Shadow Blade. It seems like the Shadow Blade has actually been more of a detriment.
I was about to say, that Shadow, he's playing like he's immortal when he's invisible. Like, this isn't a fucking pub game. Smash, they're gonna have detection. Don't just run in casually. I don't know.
I mean, that went well for UG, and they got the Roche, but I don't know. Looking at that middle fight, you know, at the end, when he was getting sent back, dude, as a Panda player, I was disappointed, because your Storm Panda can dispel, yeah. It can dispel the thing. The send back, and oh man, I don't think he knows that because I've never seen him do that before.
To be fair, MSS, have you ever pulled that off?
I'm actually so nerdy with my purges, dude.
like the clutchest thing I think I've seen is like purging invis runes, which is like legit as hell. I think I might have actually seen you pull that off once, but I don't think I've ever seen somebody pull off like a Chen send back heal. Of course, Chen hasn't really been picked up lately, so.
Yeah, that's like the little things, you know, that help a ton.
Juron picked up Mjolnir as his next item, which I really hate. Even though it helps him split push more now, it's just like too late for that. He doesn't have right-click damage where he doesn't really need that to split push. He could have just gone the sheep or another damage item.
I honestly think
Benjes.
sheep was the best item.
Probably.
Swap, Mystico. Oh, well, he sees him. He's going to swap him anyways. Benjes already popped his BKB and is now just going to pop his ultimate. So at least they forced that, but 40-second or a 40-second cooldown. Not that big of a deal. BKB,
I really think. On who?
Oh well.
The reverse. Yeah. Yeah, like Pendago said, I really don't agree with this Mjolnir build. Like, you see, if you catch that DK out of position before he can BKB, you saw how fast he died, right?
Yeah.
Like, imagine if he just blinks in and sheeps him. Like, if they do that and just BKB and just right-click the DK, they're gonna win the fight. Like,
top tower is
90% of the time.
Yep. And yeah, and they also like they have BKBs on DK and Viper, and they have. I mean, the other heroes, I guess, yeah, like they'll take damage from it, but I mean, Viper and DK aren't really gonna take that much damage from the Maelstrom procs, anyways. So I really dislike that item, but I'm sure it will still be okay-ish. The other thing is
to go.
Oh boy.
Oh, he doesn't have
sheep
a
stick.
Yeah, he wished he had a sheep.
Oh, problems for our Furion. Unfortunately, his right-click damage just wasn't enough.
Did Rubik have blink up there? Because if he did, I think he was definitely in range to blink cliffs. He just didn't do it.
Oh, he got Mihawk though.
This hero instead.
This is just as good, really, as Mihawk is gonna work it up. He's not really much he can do here. He's gonna hold on to his Ravage, and I thought that was because maybe he had a buyback, but he doesn't.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna get much out of this.
Especially since the lane that's like pushing right now when they're killed. I still feel like as long as NoT is just getting like picked apart, they just need to not like let Union Gaming do this to them, because the main reason they lost that last fight is because Tide Ravage was down. Like I don't feel like they had to rush into Roche quite as fast as they did. They should have just scouted it with the Wave of Terror and made sure that they needed to take the fight right then. Because if they could have just delayed Roshan for 20 seconds at the last fight, like they could have waited for double Ravage, and the fight is easy as hell for them if they have that. So they just need to play a little more cautiously without the Ravages, and then when they have Ravage, they need to be taking fights instead of getting picked off.
Union Gaming are playing very scared right now. They don't know whether or not the Tidehunter has a buyback, so they're going to play on the conservative side here.
I'm really hoping that Angel gets his Sheep Stick next now, because he has his damage item. Like, I don't think that was the one he should have gone, but regardless, he definitely should get a Sheep as the next item. So we'll see if he sells Orchid for that or Midas. I would assume.
Midas, dude.
Yeah, I would assume. Well, yeah. There's really no reason not to.
And presumably we get MKB for our Weaver, since we have a butterfly up on the Viper?
I think that's really possible. He does need more damage, but then he really does need more survivability too. So I think he'll probably get MKB, yeah.
And we've seen a lot of late game Brewmasters of late that do have a lot of farm. And it used to be we would always see the aura pickups, so we would see Vlad's, Assault Cuirass, those kind of item pickups for Brewmasters. But nowadays we're seeing completely different luxury items for Brew, such as Refresher. BKB is a common one. We've seen plenty of Scotties in the past, or even some Scythe of Ices. What build do you think he should be going for this game?
I think he should go sheep. His ult's actually like you do see in fights, it just dies in like 3 hits.
Yeah.
That's like the worst thing whenever you're playing Brewmaster. You know, you just go in, you're like, nice, this is a sick initiation. You ult, and your pandas just like die in 5 seconds. You're like, oh, well, at least with a sheep, like you can just YOLO in there, like the same concept with the Freon sheep.
Right.
I think AC would be okay too. I mean, having two
yeah,
sheeps is
that's
good.
okay.
Because he could go AC and they'll have more survival. He just needs to make sure he gets his, like, whatever it's called on the DK, Drunken Haze. Otherwise, yeah, he's just going to get shredded. Also, DK did have a double damage last time. His pandas got, like, obliterated. They'll still die fast, but they literally just got, like, 4-shot in the fight before that.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well,
Yeah, that fire panda will always get 4-shotted, man.
That's true. But I don't think you really rely on that this phase of the game. It's more for control, and Benjaz is the damage. That's probably why Benjaz should go damage over survivability. Like, he needs Panda and Furion to get, like, Sheep or AC, and they, like, create space for him, and he's the damage. And the Panda can just, like, Cyclone people, Drunken Haze, Clap, Rock, and when he comes out of it, he actually, like, does more damage than when he's in Panda form at this phase of the game.
Yeah, he's going for the MKB on Weaver, which is nice.
I also like this small support pickup. We don't usually talk about too many support pickups going late into the game, but Masoko got himself a Vladimir's for the rest of his team, which is something that's been kind of missing. I feel like many of the games that I've been casting lately, I'm just going, where's the Vlads? You know, like Vlads is so strong going late into the game like this. So I like that pickup a lot for the Chen. MKB finished up on the Weaver. We also have Rubik, who's going to be trying to go for BKB, it looks like.
That is one casual ringer regen in the stash.
It really is. He's been holding on to
probably
that
for
one.
a 4-staff or something. Yeah, so I think the game plan for both teams is just to wait for this Roche and contested.
Well, if they can catch out Benjas here in the middle lane, he's going to be going
Benja,
for a pickoff on Mystico, but he's already been stunned up.
Oh, you're too ham for me.
Oh my god.
I wonder if they know if he doesn't have buyback or not. Like, he just bought that
they're
MKB.
still running down mid.
Oh my god. Alright, well, Union Gaming have to go like full ham here in the bottom lane now, because they have to try and force Not Today away from their base as much as possible. And they've already done so, and it looks like the 3-man, they're not even leaving like one of the strong cores here.
Is DK
going to
buy bots? He might buy, yeah, he's buying bots.
Yeah, he really is.
Okay, nice. So now he will be able to join the rest of his teams. They're going to actually get a Ravage here in the middle lane. They're going to catch out the 2 supports. Xander's going to be the first of all. Jericho might be able to get out thanks to the heal. 4-staff away, and will be able to get some distance away from Mihawk, but they already picked off 1 support. They're going to get into the base now. There goes that refresher. Mihawk now has another Ravage ready to go. 30 seconds till the Weaver is up, but not today. They've got to be realizing, like, holy crap, this Weaver doesn't have a buyback anymore. We can just take the game from here and force Megas. Somewhere in the middle lane, we have Mystico actually trying to go on Citadel, delay him as much as possible. Tier 3 is already getting low. We have Angel, meanwhile, trying to claim the Tier 3 in the bottom lane, but it's not going to be nearly as fast as the 4-man here of Not Today. Now Citadel's going to go in with his BKB, trying to lay some damage in the smash. He doesn't care, man. He's got so much armor. Eventually, the ultimate's going to go out from the Brewmaster, and they're going to try and chase him down, but it's already Megas up. Angel, blinking forward, is actually going to start going for the squishier Masoko kill, but he already gets off his ultimate, and he's getting so low. In fact, Ewo just cleans him up with just pure right-click smash. Is going to be chased down here. He gets a 4-staff from the Chen. The last impetus shot is going to be bringing him low, but the Urn will take him out before he can teleport himself away. Chen gets out as well as our Viper is able to teleport himself away. And that's Megas now for Not Today, going from a situation where Union Gaming, as my co-caster have been saying, hey, it's Union Gaming with probably the better late game here, and they managed to take the top racks in exchange for not losing their mid racks. They had a full lane racks advantage. Now, not today, have Megas and Union Gaming are definitely on the ropes and have really just one last push ahead of them, a YOLO push, if you will.
I don't know, man. These Weaver devs are like so bad.
You could have the greatest advantage in the game, and if you run down the middle and have no buyback and get stunned and die by yourself, it doesn't matter. Like, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, seriously,
So,
those types of devs is what
losing
caused
game
my
like
match.
that is actually the most annoying thing in the world.
Yeah.
I think it's really MSS's fault. I think he jinxed pretty
I'm
much
okay with
everyone he
that.
talked about during the draft.
You're serious right now, dude?
This is why Benjaz loses in matchmaking games.
Yeah, seriously. You see those types of devs? That's what lost me those games.
I can see it, man. It's pretty rough. We have a Shivas up on Mihawk, and now the Megas are just going to be constantly at Union Gaming's door. We have the Furion who's trying to push. The Mjolnir is helping him out to some extent to try and keep this bottom lane going, but the team as a whole just cannot both deal with the push and have a good team fight ready to go. Citadel's actually going to go in with the clap. He's going to first go for Ewo with his BKB. He does have his ultimate ready to go. Benjis gets off his BKB before the refresher comes in. Mihawk is actually going to refresh soon. Another 5 seconds, he can let loose another Ravage. Mystico's already getting low. Angel's going to lose his life to Smash, who now goes back to the Brewlings. Teleport away. Oh no, Chen doesn't get off the send back in time. Smash is going to be taken down by Benjis, who's able to finish him off right as the clap goes, but he actually is going to die inside of that Brewmaster ultimate. Now going to buy back, trying to make his way back into the middle lane. Mihawk got off his second Ravage, but Benjis just keeps on going through hero after hero. Ewo is back with a vengeance now with his BKB. Is going to target down Jericho, and Benjis, the only one left alive from that original fight in the mid lane, is going to be forced back to his fountain. And Union Gaming, well, that was their only hope here, is now they have to consistently deal with these side lane pushes, and not today have buybacks and all the map control in the world just to be able to take this throne.
Yep.
That's a
TK
relief.
waiting for his bots maybe to be up before he buys back TVs, or is he just not even going to do it? Probably just going to save it. At this point, it's smarter to save your buyback. You have Megas, like, you don't really need to push. They
They can
just take
just like
this
do
road
row
from-
shifting, yeah.
Yeah, playing super safe, which is smart. I was gonna say, it looked like Furion tried to buy a rapier, like going into that fight, or he's thinking about it. I think that actually was gonna be like would have been a really smart pickup if he would have done it when he was like on the Radiant side at the after Benjos got caught and they were pushing down for that last Rax. If he would have bought the rapier and gone for the base, he could have pushed like faster than not. Like he could have actually almost double Rax them with the rapier, I think, before they could have killed their one base. They definitely would have gotten at least one other set of Raxes. So if he was gonna do that, he should have done it way earlier in the game. Jericho's in trouble.
Dire's
Oh,
middle
never mind.
tower has fallen.
Force staff away, but they've just managed to secure Roshan without using the buyback on the Dragon
Dire's
Knight.
middle tower
Those tier
has
4s
fallen.
though.
Yep, the tier 4s are
That
down,
throne
throne is
exposed.
exposed.
Dire's entrance
Benjis
is
can't
under
even like
attack.
deal with these creep waves. He has
Yeah,
no
this
way
is
to
pretty
clear
much
this.
it.
They actually can't do anything.
If they want to be super gay, they can literally just sit and wait for double Ravage. I don't think they really need to, but they might.
Come on, you could have used a better choice of words there.
I'm sorry.
Way to go, Pandago. That's all right, man. We got Throne's going to be going down here soon. If not today, I have anything to say about they're just going to 5-man in. The creeps by themselves are almost being able to take out the Ancient now with the rest of the actual team, but not today. They start focusing on it. Smash is actually going to turn around, try and kill the Brewmaster. Brewmaster gets off his ultimate in time. Benjis, though, popping his BKB. Angel's already down. Benjis getting low and is unable to do anything against this, and that's even without a Ravage. Jericho's forced away, and there it is. GG from Benjis in the first game in this 2-game series. Will end up going to not today as one hell of a back and forth, you could say. Game of Thrones to some extent, but at the end of the day, not today remained victorious, and we'll be going into this 2-game series feeling pretty happy about this long extended win of theirs. So,
So that was just depressing to watch, man. Like I so believe
Union Gaming
UG had that, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, they did. Until
Yeah,
the
they
move.
definitely
I
did.
actually was gonna say something about when he bought the MKB. I'm like, he doesn't have buyback right now, so he's playing really, really like insane. But he sort of just committed to it and then made the dumbest play in the world afterwards. So that happens sometimes, and I guess that's what we gotta live with.
I guess what my co-casters are trying to say is that Benjis certainly has some life questions to deal with here as they have the small period of break going into Game 2. Stick around, though, guys. It's going to be a last game of the night. Not today versus Union Gaming. Game 2 coming up.